Hello, world. It is Tuesday, July 12th, 2022, and looking out the window at Defiance. Another beautiful, sunny, blue sky day, but warm one. It was in the low 70s this morning at 6:30 and humid, so make sure you hydrate a lot today. It's a hot one. The devotion for today is entitled Drunken Confession, written by Rachel Hackenberg. Rachel bases the devotion upon excerpts from Psalm 7, New Revised Standard Version. A Shiggaion of David, which he sang to the Lord concerning Cush, a Benjamite. O Lord my God, in you I take refuge. If I have plundered my foe without cause, then let the enemy pursue and overtake me. And Rachel writes, a Shiggaion, a drunken reel, a wildly rhythmic poem. David prayed a Shiggaion in Psalm 7, careening from emotional highs to self-deprecating lows. Trample my life to the ground, O God, but also have pity on me, but don't pity my enemy. Habakkuk prayed a Shiggaion in Habakkuk 3 with a swirling frenzy. I am in awe of you, O God, your brightness, your might, your wrath, your work, your salvation. They were not the first, and they will not be the last two persons who take a swig from the flask as an avenue to open their hearts to holy insights. I won't advocate for the use of alcohol, drugs, or other vices to loosen our tongues before God or to ease our spirits of their burdens, as King David and the prophet Habakkuk did. Too often such vices have the opposite impact, disguising our fears or burying our shames or feeding our diseases. But I would observe that many of us find ourselves constrained and self-conscious when it comes to prayer, especially confessional prayer, that most awful exercise of nakedness before God, that gut-wrenching release of control, that awkward waterfall of unkempt words, that blushing disclosure of our self-importance. To the extent that we feel restricted in prayer, we hold ourselves back from the freedom of its graces. Some of us might benefit from a Shiggaion, with or without the flask, to shake loose from the various spiritual constraints we pick up, inherit, cling to, self-impose, other-impose, or otherwise accept in our prayer lives. We could use a good, freeing dance of the soul, a wild and random jig of words, a dynamic outpouring of emotion, a bear-all, tell-all before God. And Rachel's prayer. Let me not hold back with you, O God. This is me, jumbled mess, emotional baggage, scatterbrained sinner, wrapped in dusty vanity. Let me be unrestrained before you, trusting you to reveal in love the healings that are possible. Amen. Well, for me, the thing that came to mind during this devotion is just being open and honest in our prayer. And if that means yelling and screaming at God and being upset with God, God can take it. That's okay. God expects that of us and won't hold it against us because we're still loved. And sometimes in that yelling and screaming at God, we also come to the realization of who we are and how we are and what might need to change in our lives. And maybe that's where the prayer begins. And prayer can take all kinds of forms, as they talk about as Rachel talks about in the Shiggaion, or wonderful highs and horrible lows, and it's all prayer. Doesn't matter. There's no set pattern to it. There's no required formula to follow. It's laying bare your soul and listening and giving it up to God. Hope you have a good day, and I hope to talk to you tomorrow.